When the 2021 fall semester began, with it came a voice, a plea that captivated the Syracuse University community.
Every single survivor deserves their story to be a case.
Now, nearly 6 months later, demands remain unanswered. What can happen in fraternities remains silent. But for victims, the memory never leaves.
I just feel like disrespected, dehumanized, and used.
Nicole Crowder is a sophomore at Syracuse University. One night, Nicole says she was at an on-campus fraternity party. She recalls a fraternity member pouring her a drink, and shortly after, she lost total control. She tells us she believes someone at the fraternity party drugged her.
My eyes were rolling in the back of my head. I couldn't, I wasn't really thinking. I was just feeling kind of jelly-like, I guess you could say.
Nicole says after being drugged, she quickly left the fraternity.
Yeah, but if I had stayed there longer, I'm not sure what would have happened.
Nicole says she was fortunate that night. She also says her situation is a rarity, and the sad reality is that sexual assault is not something that can be seen. Rather, it happens behind closed doors. But one door that always remains open is here at Vera House, a resource center for survivors.
We do come on to campus and talk with faculty, staff, and students about domestic and sexual violence.
Nicole Blighty is a prevention educator and campus advocate at Vera House. She says fraternity members need to hold each other accountable.
You're in that fraternity with this person that did something really horrible. That doesn't look good for him, that doesn't look good for you, that doesn't look good for the rest of the fraternity.
We reached out to the North American Interfraternity Council. They did not accept our request for an interview, but in a statement they told CitrusTV, "We condemn any form of sexual violence or misconduct. Fraternities continue to lead in efforts to protect students by requiring educational programming and enforcing stricter health and safety guidelines than applied to non-fraternity students." Nicole Blighty says, regardless, at the end of the day, the data never lies. And according to Vera House, 1 in 5 women on college campuses have been raped.
I think it allows folks to realize just how pervasive the problem is.
And it was this very statistic that helped lead Janisha Moraya to produce a documentary telling the stories that are never told in hope of change.
Hopefully someone in administration can watch this documentary and see how their students are feeling, and that, I think, can make some change.
In 2015, Syracuse University assembled a task force on sexual and relationship violence. And new this year, the task force has launched a website aimed to serve as a hub for students in search of resources. Janisha says these changes are not enough.
You're a school, you're an institution, and you need to want to and protect your students at whatever means necessary.
We reached out to Syracuse University asking for a response. There was no answer. Something that Nicole Crowder tells us comes as no surprise. When you walk on this campus, who do you trust?
No one.
Nicole says she believes the university is well aware of the problem.
They would have to be idiots if they didn't know.
If there's one word you would use to describe your situation, what would it be?
Lucky.
Whether it was luck or intuition, that night, Nicole left physically unharmed. But she says until universities across the country change, sexual assault will remain a part of college culture. For CitrusTV News, I'm John Perik.